More than 230 people have lost their lives in the wake of Hurricane Helene, which unleashed devastation across Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and Tennessee. This catastrophic storm, which made landfall in Florida's Big Bend region as a ferocious Category 4 hurricane, has become the deadliest storm to strike the U.S. mainland since Hurricane Katrina in 2005. Now, President Biden has signed a disaster declarations for the affected areas, and the federal government has sent help, including more than 1,200 federal emergency personnel. President Biden has also ordered the Department of Defense to deploy up to 1,000 active duty troops to help deliver food, water, and other services. He has also said that he expects to ask Congress for more relief funding. However, people on the ground are seeing very interesting behavior by FEMA. Welcome back to Kharisma Daily. In North Carolina, the situation is chaotic. Entire communities are cut off, with residents stranded in mountainous regions and pleading for help. Take a listen.
Asheville is horrendous. It looks like a freaking bomb got set off over there, especially where Biltmore is. If you're headed towards Hendersonville, that whole area looks like a bomb has been set off. But guys, that's not what needs to be covered. I need this video to go viral. I need you all share this. Share it and tag and share and tag. Get this out. I need this to reach as far west. People, we have communities. We have people in these Appalachian Mountains right now. Right here in these Appalachian Mountains, we have brothers and sisters that are stuck, that are trapped. It has been 7 days. 7 days since Hurricane Helene hit the United States. We've got people trapped in these mountains. And people are asking where our military is. Our military can't do anything until the leader of this stupid country right now signs off on it. So our military is stuck. They cannot put boots on the ground. They cannot hike these Appalachian Mountains. They cannot rescue these people that are in these mountains that are stuck. They can't get to them. They can't do anything. Our military can't do anything because they will not sign the orders to release them. It is up to us, American people, and we are doing everything we can. We got hit in Greene County. Our riverbank is gone. Houses are gone. I need y'all to understand, outside of these Appalachian Mountains, the news are not covering it. They're not telling what it's like. The county above us, Unicoi County, is the county you've seen all over the news where the people were on top of the hospital that had to be rescued. You saw how much water they had. That water came down to Greene County. You all have saw Newport, Cott County. Dolly was there yesterday. Dolly Parton. That's where she done her press conference where she's donating $2 million. $1 million out of her pocketbook and $1 million out of her donation or out of her fund. Guys, East Tennessee and Western North Carolina is 1,000 times worse than the news has made it out to be. There is people, I need y'all to understand, especially coastal states. You all that live in a state that is surrounded by the ocean, that it connects to the ocean, when you get hit with a hurricane, yours involves an ocean. That ocean comes in, it floods you, but it sucks back out. You are still left with your buildings. You're still left with your homes to be able to go in and see if you can salvage anything. Okay? You're left with that. These people aren't left with that. These people don't even have a structure to go back to see if they can save anything. These people don't have anything to go back to look at. It is a concrete slab, and it's here, and it's in Unicoi, and it's in Cott County, and it's across that state line in North Carolina, and I'm going to tell you now, North Carolina is so much worse than anywhere. Those mountain towns, you've got to understand, people live off grid for a reason. They want to keep talking about the death toll. They want to keep comparing this hurricane to Katrina and the death toll. I'm here to tell you now, and I've told other people, and I've talked to news stations, and I'm telling you, this death toll will blow Katrina out of the water. There is people we don't even know who was on those Appalachian Mountains hiking them. There is people that live off grid for a reason. We have no idea how many people lived in those mountains. We don't know how many homeless people had camps set up in those mountains. I can tell you now, where I live, there was homeless camps set up all along the river. All along the river, and now they're gone, and we don't even know if the homeless made it out. We don't know if they're alive. We don't know anything, people. We don't know. You need to understand there are bodies washing up. This ain't a joke. There is counties in North Carolina that don't have enough body bags. They have already filled thousands. There is one county in particular, they've done filled 1,000 and they're begging for more because they don't have any more. Please do not compare this hurricane to Katrina. Don't even compare what Florida got from Hurricane Helene. Do not compare what they got compared to East Tennessee and Western North Carolina, because I'm going to tell you now, we're not the same. We are not the same. People have asked, why were we not prepared? You can't prepare for something that has never happened. It's the same as asking Florida, why are you not prepared for a blizzard? Because a blizzard has never happened in Florida. I am in Tennessee. I do not connect to an ocean. There is no reason that we should have had that much damage. Have we ever been flooded by hurricanes? Yes, but nothing like what we just endured. You've got to understand, we didn't have an ocean that come in and then suck back out.
Now, one content creator have provided an in-depth breakdown exposing the dire conditions in North Carolina and the missed opportunities for faster relief efforts. The question remains, why has the government response been so slow in some of the hardest hit areas? Take a listen.
Okay, please give me 5 minutes to talk to you about geography, because we need to understand the scale of what's going on. This is the state of North Carolina. This is the area that's without power still. This is also the state of North Carolina. This yellow outline is the country of Belgium that I've overlaid for scale. Okay? This is the scale. 230,000 customers without power means households. Based on US Census data, the average household size here is about 3, which means we're talking about 600,000 to 700,000 people who have not had power for a week. That is an emergency by itself. If you don't have power for a week, then if you had food stored in the freezer, no, you don't. If you had breast milk, insulin stored in the fridge, no, you don't. You don't get to run your CPAP machine. 750,000 people without power for a week should make headline news by itself. But power outages are unfortunately one of the mildest of problems. Water is also out. Cell coverage is out. If you're seeing people posting from this area, there's a good likelihood they're having to drive miles to do that. And that is if they have a car that wasn't destroyed, if they can get gas somehow, and if they have roads they can drive miles on. These are the road closures. Okay? And these roads are not closed because there's some water on them. They're closed because they look like this now. Right? This times this. That's the scale. The reason the roads look like that is because this is the topography. This is not like a lot of cities where you drive for a half an hour to go get to this. This is the region. This is where people live. When you live in the mountains, you get one road. And they're going to put it wherever they can put it. That's why it's shaped like this. Very often, that's going to be along a river or next to it. When a road looks like this, right, that means the land looks like this. So when a hurricane decides to go hiking in the mountains, which has never happened in this area before, ever, you're going to get a torrential amount of water, and it's going to be moving very fast because it's moving down a mountain. And this river is going to explode. It's going to take out this road right here, and it's going to take out this road right here. And then everybody that lives in here is trapped because you're not walking out. Some people are. Some people are putting what they can and their children on their back and hiking out, which is, to be honest, pretty representative of typical Appalachian scrappiness. Anyway, the other thing that's going to happen is mud, because the water is not going to just gently fall down the mountain and go in the river. It is going to get into the earth, and the earth is going to become mud, and that is incredibly heavy. And the whole mountainside is going to shear off like a windshield wiper and carry everything with it and put it in the river. And that's why we're seeing the level of destruction we're seeing, because roads are not the only thing that is gone. This is not a river. This is a town. This is Chimney Rock. This is a screenshot from this user. This is what it looked like before. And this is the scale that we're talking about. There are hundreds of small towns in this picture. This is Asheville. this right here. You've heard a lot about Asheville, probably, hopefully. Asheville is not a small remote mountain town. It is a city of 100,000 people. It is the city that you would drive to go to the doctor if you live in an actual small remote mountain town. And it did get devastated. It did get hit very hard. But part of the reason why you are seeing so much coverage out of Asheville is that you can get there right now. If you're going to send a news crew to North Carolina, they can just drive into Asheville. And you do not want to be taking up a helicopter right now just to take pictures because people are still trapped. I do think some news organizations went here for a working lunch and didn't ask anybody if anyone lives up here. So I'm a little frustrated by that. But gradually, I think the coverage is developing. The rest of this is going to be very bleak, so don't watch it if you're already not okay, please. The mortality counts that you've seen in the tens are irresponsibly optimistic. Those are the people who've been identified. When you find someone's remains washed down a river, how do you know where they came from? How do you contact their loved ones to get an identification? When the cell towers are down, when the roads are down, when all of those people are still concentrating on trying to get out and trying to get food and water. You're going to wait. You're going to wait until the living are taken care of. We have not begun to hear the mortality numbers from this disaster. This is a small country. And it's my mom's small country. And it's gone. Please pay attention.
To make matters worse, there's been some confusion and controversy about FEMA's preparedness. You can see coming up a recent claim from the White House that FEMA's funds weren't diverted to other programs. This revelation has led to accusations that the agency is unprepared and unfunded due to political mismanagement. Take a listen.
It's just categorically false. It is not true. It is a false statement. No, Biden did not take FEMA relief money to use on migrants. Funding is also available through FEMA's Emergency Food and Shelter Program to eligible local governments and non-for-profit organizations upon request to support humanitarian relief for migrants.
A shocking twist. Survivors of Hurricane Helene are learning that the $750 assistance from FEMA is not a grant, but it's a loan. That's right, a loan that must be repaid within a year. Many victims already are struggling to rebuild their lives, are asking how are they expected to repay this debt on top of their losses. Take a listen.
I'm gonna try my best. I've been trying to make this video for the last 15 to 20 minutes. And it just blows my mind, you know, the level of depravity some of these people are going to go to. So there is a FEMA man who came on and explained something very serious about the $750 that you guys don't know and that they're not going to tell you. And unless you have a magnifying glass in the contract that they're going to sign during your inspection, you'll never see it. So you're going to hear it from me and hopefully from everybody else who is going to share this shit around. The $750 is a loan. It's not free. They're not giving it to you. It's a loan. And if you don't pay back that $750 loan within a year, they're going to seize your property. So, do not take the money. Doesn't matter how hard you feel life is right now, don't take it. It is a carrot on the string. They're trying to bait you. Don't take it. Do not take it. One thing that you're going to notice, folks, is they're not giving that money to people who have a little bit of money. They're not giving it to people who have jobs. They're giving it to the welfare people who have nothing, who have absolutely nothing. And they're going to take advantage of these people first.
As if the devastation itself wasn't enough, multiple senators and representatives from both North and South Carolina are now suggesting that Hurricane Helene may have been an act of weather manipulation. This isn't the first time we've heard such theories, but it's gaining traction in the wake of Helene's unprecedented destruction. Take a listen.
If you can do so, could you tell us about some of your recent discussions, conversations, briefings that you've had with political leaders from the states in question that have asked you what you think? First of all, what did they specifically ask you, if you can tell us, and how did they respond to your answers?
Yes, Colonel McGregor, I had an hour conference call yesterday with the representatives and senators from the Carolinas, and we presented the data to them to answer their questions about how this manipulation occurs. They realized this was not a natural event. They're trying to digest the fact that their states were literally under assault from weather modification operations that are clearly connected with DoD operations, and we can speculate again on the agendas and objectives being carried out, but the fact that the storm was manipulated is absolutely inarguable. We know that technology to stop these rotations from even occurring has existed for decades with the manipulation of atmospheric pressure zones. HARP in Alaska is one example many people are familiar with. That's an ionosphere heater. That's a weapon of mass destruction, period.
Surprisingly, CBS aired a segment nearly a decade ago on weather manipulation technology that some now believe may have been used in the case of Hurricane Helene.
You know, they were talking about climate change yesterday, and now we're learning that scientists and researchers are looking at how to change the weather on purpose. That's right. Lasers now could one day manipulate rain and lightning. CBS This Morning contributor Michio Kaku is a physics professor at City College of New York. Professor, nice to see you. Extraordinary seeing Al Gore and Bill Clinton there together with Charlie, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, they did not get into this discussion, though. But it is fascinating. I mean, lasers, really, to change the weather?
That's right. Well, as Mark Twain once famously said, everyone complains about the weather, but no one ever does anything about it. Well, instead of doing a rain dance, we physicists are firing trillion-watt lasers into the sky to actually precipitate rain clouds and actually bring down lightning bolts. This is potentially a game changer.
But this is experimental.
It's experimental. However, in the laboratory so far it works. When you have water vapor and you have dust particles or ice crystals, you can precipitate rain. It condenses around the seeds. These seeds can also be created by laser beams. By firing trillion-watt lasers, you rip apart the electrons, creating what are called ions, and these ions act like seeds, like dust particles, bringing down rain and even lightning.
Go ahead.
Well, this fascinates me in part because, too, I remember reading the stories that China had used this during the Olympics, that the USSR had used this after Chernobyl to create rain clouds. I mean, did those really work then? We have some of these capabilities now?
Inconclusive. Even in the 60s, the CIA used this to bring down monsoons during the Vietnam War, to wash out the Viet Cong. Governments have been playing with this thing.
Alleged to.
Alleged to, right.
Yeah.
Now, we realize that for decades now, these governments have been alleged to have experimented with weather control, but nothing conclusive. This time we're bringing in the laws of physics rather than simply waving our hands and uttering mumbo jumbo. We're actually using trillion-watt lasers now. And in the laboratory, sure enough, they precipitate rain out of water vapor. Sure enough, you can actually bring down electricity down the beam.
So what does it mean for drought areas that need to have rain for crops, and if they don't have them, there's the consequences of famine?
Well, the bad news is if it's a clear blue sky, it's not going to do anything at all, because it only takes water vapor that's already in the air and condenses it. However, for floods, for agriculture, farmers, for people planning wedding parties, football games, you name it, outdoor events and agriculture and flooding and even hurricanes, all of them could be subject to weather modification.
Incredibly interesting, Professor Michio Kaku. Thank you so much.
Question on many minds is, who would benefit from the destruction of these southern states?
Please don't scroll. Please watch this entire video, because you will see about 6 or 7 or 8 pictures at the end of it showing you proof of everything that I'm about to say. So please, please watch this entire video. So between Kings Mountain and Chimney Rock, North Carolina is the largest lithium deposit in the world. and the rights are owned by Albemarle Global. And on September the 24th, they actually applied for federal and state permits to redirect and reconstruct their mining operation between Kings Mountain and Chimney Rock. So Albemarle is owned mostly by stockholders, Vanguard and BlackRock Group. Well, guess who the biggest investor in BlackRock and Vanguard is? Douglas Emhoff, Kamala Harris's husband. So Albemarle is home headquartered in Charlotte, North Carolina. And when these permits get approved, they're proposing $250 billion yearly in mining. Douglas Emhoff's stock holdings just went up substantially. And guess who is the final approval for the permits? That would be our lovely VP. So, as I said, I'm going to post about 6 or 7, maybe 8 pictures at the end of this video, and you can see for yourself. It's a disgrace. The loss of life for money. So please, I beg you, if you have any heart and any love for life and liberty and the wrongdoing that's going on right now, please like, comment, and repost this to everybody. Everybody. Thank you.
As conspiracy theories continue to swirl, one thing is true. Hurricane Helene has left behind more than just physical devastation. It has opened up questions about governmental responses, financial aid, and possibly something far more sinister behind the storm's origin. No matter the cause, the people affected by Hurricane Helene need our help now. The time for action is long overdue. Will the government step up to the challenge? Or will those left behind and stranded continue to pay the price? I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Are you in the situation? Have you been affected? Do you know someone that's been affected? And how is it going for them? Are they getting the support and help that they need? Let us know. Share a comment below and let's talk about it. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care and bye for now.